Hey, good morning. Welcome to yet another episode of Prop Talk. Here with Mikey Trudel in the studio. And then on Zoom, we have Barry Wilkinson from the UK. This is our first trip abroad to speak to a legendary property master, I must say. I'm very excited. How are you, Barry?
Very well, thank you.
Excellent. Again, I haven't really, we haven't run down people's biographies so much like we did in the beginning, but I have to.
Yeah, he's got quite a resume.
Yes, if you don't know who Barry Wilkinson is, you do, and you just don't know it. Okay, so Barry, I see have you done every single Harry Potter movie?
Yeah.
Eight of them, people. 8. That's
a
lot.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Not to mention, the Indiana Jones, 2 of those as well, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's nothing. And then Titanic, of course. But, I mean, it's an amazing career that you've had. You started in what year?
1968, I think it was 68, yeah.
1968. And Barry, do you come from a family of property masters?
No, I'm the first in line.
You're the first.
But now my sons and grandchildren are in it now, yeah.
Oh, great. So your son is also a property master, correct?
Yeah, I've got three sons who are prop masters, yeah.
Wow. And that's amazing. Have you had the opportunity to work with any of them? Did you train them all?
Yeah, they all started with me. Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So you decided to get them all in this mad career, huh?
Get them all. Yeah.
So, how did you find your way into the film industry?
It was just something really. A friend of mine and myself, we always sort of wanted to do. We was always film mad and things when we were youngsters. Mm-hmm. But going back to those days then over here, I don't know about in the States, but it was quite hard to get into the studios.
Right.
And it took us quite a while because it was union involved.
Mm-hmm.
You had to have sort of a ticket to get a job, or you had to have a job to get a ticket.
Right.
It was quite difficult, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And did you go to school for anything art related or film related?
No. I started up in a commercial studio in Goldhawk Road in West London, mm-hmm. and it just progressed from there. But when I started in the business over here, it was very, very slow. Then there wasn't that amount of films being made here, like in the States, obviously. Yeah.
And now there's a lot of things being shot there.
That's right.
Feels like we're losing
all coming home.
Yeah.
So, Barry, did you have the opportunity to work in the States at all?
I've been to the States a couple of times on jobs. I came over the first time, I think it was on Roger Rabbit.
Oh,
nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, but I just came over. I brought some action props across for them to use here. They use in the States.
Right.
And I just stood by it, with the unit and watched them filming. And the other time was when I'm trying to think of the name of the film, Scorpio, a Michael Winner film.
Right.
Okay.
And shot in Washington, yeah.
DC, right? Okay.
You're in London, right? Is that where you're home based out of? Okay, cool.
Yeah, based in London, yeah.
Right, so a lot of Pinewood work, I'm guessing, right?
I worked in Pinewood. I did some films in Pinewood, yeah.
Yeah.
So Barry, for us here in the States and all of us property people here, the most fascinating thing for us and for me in particular as well is the trying to wrap my head around the difference between the UK system and the American system of being a property master. Yeah. So can you kind of walk us through that?
Well, how I find it's different because I worked with American Prop Master on the last Batman. Right. What was it? Batman Rises.
Dark Knight Rises. Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises, and that was a guy, Michael Bates.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he came over from the States, and he brought all these action props with him. Mm-hmm. He'd done his prep work in the States, and it works out to me that the American prop masters just purely deal with action props and props on the set,
right?
Where the English prop master, when I go in, I'm responsible for the action props, getting those sorted out with the art departments and the various departments. But then once we've got them and we start shooting, I have a supervisor, which I call our charge hand prop man on the floor. Mm-hmm. And he's the day would start with me going to the set of the morning and making sure that the guy has got his action props for the day, and I'll be there till they get like the first shot in and make sure everything's going okay. Then I fall back because I'd had sort of transport to organise and the dressing of other sets and all the stuff in the background. We do more, I think, than the American prop masters.
Right. So it's a lot of a crossover almost between set dressing a little bit and props.
Well, I have the set dressers work for me.
Right.
What we call dressing prop men, the set dressers. They come under my jurisdiction. Yeah.
I see. So you're basically in charge of having to dress all the sets as well and make sure that everything's in place.
Yeah.
And then manage
and the prop making, getting the prop making done, and that. Yeah. So that's why obviously we can't spend the time on the floor.
Right. So in pre-production, what is your role? I mean, do you break a script down for the props?
Oh yeah, the first job is the same. Is that's my first most important job, is to start breaking the script down and sorting out the action props, and then getting together with the designer and the set decorator to decide what she's going to take or he's going to take care of, and I'm going to be responsible for.
I see.
And decide what's going through the prop making departments and overlook it, really, oversee it.
Sure. But traditionally and most often you handle all of the hand props though, right?
Yes. Yeah, like you guys do. I meet with the director most times and discuss what's needed and various things. And then, as I say, then that goes to my man on the floor. Yeah.
Right.
But it sounds like to me also it's just like where the bigger difference is you're a lot more connected to the set decoration department and stuff, and you work a lot closer in hand with the set decorator than we do here in the States. Is that correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Because it's kind of if the whole set dressing is kind of like, it's like I think on our books or whatever, they say it's like, okay, once the set decorator and stuff is done with all this stuff, it's handed off to the prop master and stuff. But realistically, it's kind of still the set decorator's set, where theirs sounds a little bit more literal.
Right.
Yeah.
But because obviously if you're on a shoot day, you have to have the sets dressed before the shooting crew gets there.
Oh, right? Yeah. We have
But are you overseeing that as well? The pre-dress?
We watch. Yeah, I go. My gang dresses the sets. Yeah, we prepare all the sets. Yeah.
Well, so you have more responsibility, basically.
Yeah, quite a bit of responsibility.
Yes, that's amazing. And and do you also meet with actors as well as for personal props?
Oh, meet with the actors exactly the same as you guys do, except that I'm just trying to say that it was like, for example, when I was working with Michael Bates, he came over, he brought his props with him. So when he arrived here, I didn't really have anything to do with Nolan over here because he had already sorted his stuff out in the States. So all I worried about was getting the sets ready for them.
I see.
And moving around London, dressing the sets, you know?
Right. Wow.
So that was handy for me, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dark Knight Rises was your last film before you retired?
That was the last one I did, yeah.
So how's that going? How's retirement for you, Ben?
Oh, it's good. I've been retired now. I think it's 11 years.
11 years,
I've enjoyed it. Yeah,
that's very nice.
Have you seen like what's been going on with the strike out there, and like how is it affecting UK? Is it affecting you guys as much as it is affecting us?
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Okay.
Some of the guys have been out now a long time. Yeah.
Yes, I heard that it is shut down completely.
Pretty much UK. Everywhere.
Yeah. Everywhere's closed down virtually over here. They're just the big film. A couple of films what was finishing off have carried on where they didn't need actors, like doing their returns and striking and stuff. And that's it, basically. The film industry's dead over here at the moment.
Yeah, just for a point of reference, it's October 22nd today, if you're listening to this. So hopefully it will be done soon.
Oh, yeah, they're going back to the table Tuesday.
With the they're having another meeting Tuesday.
Yes, they are going back in with the studio execs on Tuesday. So usually a lot more happens when the executives are in the room. So hopefully we'll be done soon. But I don't know how much of it there's left for this year. We might not see anything until January at this point. But
no, that's right.
Yes, anything, some start date would be great. So, there's so much that we want to talk to you about.
Before we get into the credits, because I know that we're going to spend a lot of time on that. I have a question, just going back to the UK system and everything, because I do look, and I think because it doesn't look like you guys have as much of a set dresser title as you have. Everything relates to props, which is kind of cool. But whenever I look at it, because I'm always looking at a lot of IMDb's to see who did a lot of the props in the movie, and I see a lot of something that goes with prop masters. It looks like there's a lot of before they start prop mastering, they're standby props. Go ahead.
Well, can you tell us what a standby prop? What are those responsibilities?
The standby prop man is my guy who'll be on the floor.
Right.
So they're your right hand man.
He would have one or two men with him, depending on how busy the set is, and they work the set. But as I say, I take the props to them. They don't get involved with any of the meetings with the directors or the artists or anything like that. You know,
like our set master, basically.
Yeah, it's like the set master.
So do you spend any time on set? Like if you have difficult props and stuff?
Yeah. Every morning I go there to make sure, and I'll stay there till they virtually start shooting or they get that first shot in.
Right.
And then once I know what I say, it's all calm and settled down, then I go back and continue doing what I have to do for the rest of the day.
Wow, fantastic. So I'm going to go way back to 1975 and Barry Lyndon, and you worked with Stanley Kubrick on that film, right?
Yeah, but only for a short while. I didn't do the whole film.
I see.
I wasn't on Barry Lyndon for the whole time. No.
I see. So you were up and coming at that point.
Yeah, because I went out to Ireland with the prop master I was working with at the time, Ray Traynor.
Okay.
He took three of us out to Ireland to start preparing it, and things didn't go all that well for Ray, and he was coming off of the film. So because I worked for him. I left with him. Yeah.
I see.
Do you guys do you usually typically stay pretty centralized to the UK, or do you go all over Europe?
All over Europe, anywhere.
Everywhere.
Anywhere there's a pound note to be earned.
So I'm assuming then that, because most prop masters here have like a 48-foot trailer. Do you guys have that?
No, nothing like that.
No.
We wouldn't have anywhere to park it anyway.
Right, exactly.
That's why I was
Small
asking.
cobblestone streets.
That's what fascinates us when we hear these stories about you guys with these great big trucks and all that. All we have is a small working kit, basically.
So do you have your own like little personal storage prop houses that you guys have of your kits?
Not so much as you guys. No. We've obviously got all the prop houses where we hire our stuff and rent our stuff. But some of the guys rent out bits and pieces, but nothing, I don't think, on the scale like you boys do. No.
Right. And so you probably have like a fleet of trucks to bring all the set dressing in and stuff then, right? Like
that's right. Yeah, you see, I would whatever transport company we're using, we, depending on the size of the film to the size of the truck we have, we get an empty truck in, and then we have it what we call racked out accordingly to what we're going to need for that picture.
Sure.
But basically, we only have one standby truck for the main unit. Yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
And you guys are non-union out there, right?
It's basically all not. Well, we've got a union over here, but it isn't on par with what you've got. No.
So what does it do for you, the union there?
Nothing, basically.
It takes part of your paycheck.
That's why we're not in it.
Yeah.
I see. Wow. So what was your first film that you were a property master on?
Oh, my first film, I was a property master, and I'm going to have to go back a little bit here because...
was it Labyrinth?
Well, it was about 1970, I think it was. Okay. It's going back a lot of years, brother. You've got me now.
Oh, okay, that's okay. Just so you know, Barry, we're tracking your career through IMDb, which is often not correct. So
yeah,
we apologize for that.
Yeah. Where did I come up from? My first one was property master.
Come right.
I think it was the Last of Sheila where I got a proper credit for the Prop Master. Yeah.
Very nice.
The Last of Sheila. That was in 1973. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. And
that was about right, I think. Yeah. The Last of Sheila. Yeah. 73. Hold on. Because this is going backwards. I'm having a look at that. No, sorry. I'm well wrong there. I'm leading you up the garden path because I forgot I've done Dragon Slayer, Victor Victoria, and things like that. But,
right.
Yeah.
19. Yeah, 19.
I know they have a tendency to all meld together. That's for sure. When you've done so much.
You didn't come from a family of anybody that worked in the film industry or anything?
No. I was the first one. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Were they supportive?
When they were.
What did they think of you going into the film industry?
Well, I don't know. My dad thought I was mad, really, because it was very hit and miss business then, There wasn't much work about at all. Because let me just have a look at this list for a second.
Yeah, no worries.
Backwards, because in this period, that's 19. We're talking about. I started in 1968, roughly, was when I did my first film. So I was in it slightly before then, doing TV commercials and things. But then I went on. Then I really started on my first film in 1968. That was called The Curse of the Crimson Altar. But that was just as a dressing prop man on that film.
I see.
And then I went through that, standby props up through Winners Films. And then the first break, I'm trying to find the first good break I had, was Yeah, the first one as Prop Master was The Last of Sheila. And that was 1973. And then I went on
I see.
from there, 73. Yeah.
Oh, there it
from
is. I see.
73, gotcha. Really.
Wow. Okay. Well, so, I'm very interested in your work on Labyrinth.
On what?
Labyrinth?
Labyrinth.
Oh, yeah, that was a lovely piece of work on, yeah.
So, did you have much to do with all of with Jim Henson and in the puppeteering at all?
No. The puppeteering never come under us at all. It was only the actual action props and that what Bowie and everyone handled in the picture again, and of course dressing the sets. But the puppeteering, no.
Yeah, they got that type. Labyrinth probably has a huge creatures team on that type of show.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, I saw
that, and a big special effects department too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, what is your relationship with special effects as well in the UK? I mean,
well, working very, very closely. You see, my day would be in the studio. It depending. Say there's a special knife required or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We get that. Speak it through with the director and show him some types of a knife you're thinking of, and he'd want to add bits to it, and then it'd be my responsibility of taking that round to either the prop making departments and getting the bits added on and made up to what the guys asked for. And then if it's got a special function, obviously, then it's got to go to the special effects department for being made and the duplicates. But that's my job, is following those things through and making sure the items there on the morning. Yeah.
Right. And how about weapons? Do you deal with weapons yourself?
We used to years ago, but not more and more now. The armourers have come into it, but and more so since I've left the business, I think. But
sure, we
used to always sort out all the continuity guns and the guns and get the dummies made and that type of thing, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Our weapons are a tougher thing in the UK since they're like infamously, they're more illegal there than they are here in the States.
Oh yeah, it's very strict with them over here. Yeah, yes, that's why years ago there used to be a few property masters that had gun licenses. They thought I never wanted one because to me that was going to be more of a pain in the arse than it was worth, you know?
Absolutely.
Because with the police checking on you, and I'd sooner go and get an armourer and bring them out on his licence, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And most of those armourers are UK local too. It's just more licensing they have to go through.
Local guys, yeah. Again, I know I keep saying I'm going back, but it's been 11 years since I've been involved and it's changed. But going back prior to that, there was only one main company here that used to rent and deal with the weapons, and that was Baptist. And I dealt with them for years and years. And that's who I used to get all the guns from. But now I believe that there are more companies opened up recently, yeah.
Wow. So how did you end up on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
Through the designer, Elliot Scott, that's who sort of picks us for. I don't know how it works in the States,
sure.
But most times over here, it's the production designer who picks the property master and his team, and so it's through Elliot Scott I got onto Indiana Jones. Yeah.
What had you done with him before Indiana? You worked with this designer before you got on?
Oh yeah. The first film I did with him was Watcher in the Woods with Betty Davis over in Pinewood. Yeah,
I see.
That was quite a few years before. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, well, you did Temple of Doom also.
Yes,
I did Temple of Doom. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's pretty sweet because you got to handle some super iconic props that we're actually making stickers of, like the little monkey now.
Yeah, exactly.
All the monkey heads, yeah, they all come under us. All that stuff came under us. It was because then we had a big prop making department doing it, you know. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Again, I had to go around and follow the items through because they come under dressing stroke action props, and that was all down to us. Yeah.
So you guys had like a special effects team on a lot of these movies. I'm assuming Harry Potter too, that are just constantly pumping out and making props for you on the day.
Oh, we had a massive prop making department on Harry Potter. Yeah, it got bigger as the films went on as well. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. We had, I forget now the exact amount, but I was up to about. Can I just ask a question, Ben? Yeah. How many containers did I have at the finish on the Potters? Was it 120, 130? 150 containers I had at the end of that. 20 and 40 footers full of props, and
wow.
And every item was listed, and I'll tell you, this is the gospel truth. We didn't lose one action prop off of that film.
Wow, that's impressive.
We couldn't. The system was so regimental and policed because they was paranoid about anyone getting hold of any of it.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah,
of course.
Was one container just wands?
we had something like, I think it was 3,001 boxes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, for Ollivander's one shop. If you saw the film, Ollivander's one shop was filled with those blooming one boxes. We had something like 1,500 different one boxes in there, and everyone had to be made and labelled. Yeah.
Wow. Have you been to Universal Studios where they have like the stuff now where they have the actual Ollivander's wand shop where you can buy a wand?
I haven't been to Universal Studios, no, but all that stuff is obviously replicated from our stuff now, what we did originally. Yeah.
That's got to be a trip to walk through and see a lot of stuff that you had a hand in.
I understand there's a couple of those tours in the States, and there's one just been completed in Japan now. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
So how involved are you in the design of some of these props, like from Indiana Jones and Harry Potter?
How much? Sorry, I've missed that.
And how involved were you in the design of the props?
Well, again,
did that mostly come from the production designer?
Well, it comes from. I don't know how it works in the States, but over here we sit down with like Scotty or Stuart Craig or any of the designers we work with, and Stuart had mentioned start coming what's in his mind and showing us drawings and bits and bobs, and it all starts from there. And then we had a marvellous set decorator on Harry Potter, Stephanie. She was fantastic. And it's just that sort of thing is a group effort,
right?
And as I say, it's we sort of had a joke on there, and I'd sort of say, "Oh, that's mine," and that's yours. No, that's yours. Step to get through, so we knew who was following what and who was doing what. You know.
Sure. And after that many pictures, you probably have a language. That's
we certainly did.
You probably just have to look at each other and you know what's going on. That's great.
Yeah, going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
one example when we did the first one. This always sticks out in my mind. With Chris Columbus, he was a lovely man. Chris, I don't know if you've ever worked with him in the States, but
yeah,
he's a great man. And we had the first meetings, and the first big number we was going to have coming up was going to be the welcoming feast in the Great Hall, and that was going to involve all these plates and plates of food, and we was obviously going to have dummy turkeys and whatever made, but Chris wanted the real stuff.
Wow.
And he wanted it real because we're going to track along the tables and the kids, and anyway, so it works out we're going to go with real food. Well, that was a nightmare.
I'm sure.
I had to get 3 kitchens in at the back. No, four kitchens we had at the back. And we had a full-time catering team cooking endlessly. This is the truth. And from once we had the first setup, it all kicked off. When we wrapped, our boys had to go in, clean, reset, redo, get the stuff out, washing up for ages round at the back. We never had enough repeats to do it all endlessly. And it just went on, and that turned into be a real nightmare for our department, I tell you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We didn't get much sleep.
Did you have to do that for all those dining hall scenes and all that real food every time after that?
All the stuff in the first movie was all real. Yeah.
Wow. So it got a little easier after that.
I would imagine.
Yeah. It's exhausting.
Yeah, people don't realize how much goes into a giant food scene like that. Like you said, with the cleanup and everything, it's always a nightmare.
Cleanup's the worst part because even you have like 5 different guys like in it, and then they're trying to get out for the night, and you have the locations person sitting there breathing down your throat. Like, are you guys going to be out? It's like, well, you guys had 150 background.
I think they were finishing around about 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And then again, we was in again at 6 in the morning for the setup and redress and everything. Yeah, so that was hard. Yeah.
What are your guys' hours the same as ours in the States? Do you guys do 12 to 14-hour days?
Well, we're on a 12-hour deal, really.
Yeah, and
then we come on to hours after that. Yeah.
So overtime after that, right?
Yeah. And right. You can rub your. That can't we be like that?
Sure. Well, well, and that's the thing is that you're working way more hours than the shooting crew because you're prepping and striking. So
that's right. Yeah.
That's amazing. So again, for me, I just have to ask you, what was it like working on an Indiana Jones movie? I mean, was it thrilling for you?
They were smashing, enjoyable because Spielberg's a great guy to work for anyway, isn't he? Yeah. And when we did the first one, what was it?
Temple of Doom?
Temple of Doom.
Right.
When Stephen came over, we only had him for one morning.
Right.
In Elstree Studio. That's just my department. We only had him for that morning, just for a few hours. He was in the studio for the day or 2 days with the art department and Scotty. But my time factor was just this section, which we had everything laid out in the prop room for him. And we picked everything and decided, and it was all signed off there. And the only item he changed when we came to shooting was there was a young little character in the film, never forget it, called Short Round, a little boy.
Yeah.
And his knife we changed.
Oh.
He wanted that changed all of a sudden, and that was the only prop he changed on the film. Yeah.
Wow, good on you for that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you guys did good.
Yeah, you did good.
Yeah.
We've heard this about Spielberg already, that you don't get a lot of time with him, so you have to make sure you get it right. So
that's right. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Now, Short Run, he's the one who went on to do.
He won an Academy Award this year. Yes,
right.
Yeah, he won an Academy Award.
Oh, that's fantastic. So the filming of it. I mean, was there anything that stood out for you in the filming of the movie? I mean, what were your greatest challenges in doing the Indiana Jones?
For us, was the thing which I found very interesting for our department because old Scotty was a very clever designer, and when we came to do the mine cart chase,
right,
it was decided it was going to be done like we call it over here like a scenic railway, like in the theme park, where you get the cars,
roller coaster,
yeah. And that's how it was designed to be. But Spielberg, he was surprised by the size of the stage that Scotty was going to put it on. And because of it repeating itself when the carts were going round,
Yeah.
So Scotty had it done with beams, pillars, and a lighting system like traffic lights when you watch it.
Sure.
There's different, every now and again, there's different coloured lights that make the tunnels look different. And we altered the beams to give the track much steeper angles in things. And that was good to work out, because that was something we didn't often get to do,
Sure. That
was good. And as I say, it was just so good to work with him, because he does march along, Stephen, as well, and very professional, professional.
And how was Harrison Ford back then?
He was good. He was good. Yeah, nice guy. Yeah. Funny enough, my son's just finished his last film.
Oh, very nice.
Over here, yeah.
Well, which film was that?
The last Indie.
Oh, the last Indie. Yeah, I actually really liked that film.
I liked it too.
They did a great job.
Yeah. Much better than the Crystal Skull.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was. We don't want to talk about that.
There's always one in the trilogy, right, or the series. Yeah. That's funny. And how about the Indie's whip? Did he have somebody training him to use that? And
yeah, we had obviously all different sizes of those. It was a very important prop all through those films. I had a guy down in Devon who made those for us, and then the special effects requirements ones, which had special wires in, and that was all arranged and done through our man down in Devon. We had different length widths for different gags,
Right. Amazing.
That you've. From just these ones to Titanic to, all the Harry Potters. You've been on some...
our favourite, and it ain't Cameron.
Oh, the tank? Yeah. So we're...
You worked with him?
You've been on some of the most surreal sets ever. They're not they're. I've been on some high budget sets, but I think only like one or two ever in my career personally have been something where the entire universe is completely built from the ground up around me. So it must be pretty cool to even back from the 80s. Almost most of the sets you worked on, you're walking into a different universe every single day. How awesome was that?
Yeah. Have you worked with it? Have you worked with him?
Who's that?
Cameron.
No, no. Haven't had that pleasure.
Yeah.
So so let's talk about Titanic.
Yeah.
Well, that was an epic film. And what was your prep like on that? With it being period and everything.
It was good for us because the production designer, obviously, that's how we came to do the film. That was Peter Lamont, who I'd worked for. And a lot of the prop making and dressing material was made over here before we went out to Mexico. And we started making that in Leavesden Studios, which was only obviously a shell then, still from the old Rolls-Royce building from when GoldenEye went in there.
I see.
And as all the stuff for the bridge and the ship, all the wheel, all the controls, and all that dressing we prepared over here and packed, sent out to Mexico to go into the sets there. So a lot of the stuff was done and made here.
And how much prep did you have on something like that?
Oh, we had quite a while because, as well, I'm trying to think now.
I know it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I feel like
that's about 3 months, I suppose. Yeah. Three months from when we started over here to when now as well, including what we did down in Mexico. And when we first about 3 months prep on the film. Yeah.
Was the tank stuff down in Mexico?
Yeah, that was all down in Mexico. When I first went up from Mexico to Rosarito, that whole area there was just like a building site. They were still digging down for the tanks and things. Yeah, our prop room wasn't even built when I got up there. Yeah.
Wow. So they built all those tanks for the film.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So how was working with James Cameron then?
Gruesome. Yeah. Yeah. He was 100% all on. He was.
He's passionate.
One of the biggest headaches we had on that picture, believe it or not, was period luggage.
I don't doubt it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
as far as
because
like
much of it was getting ruined all the time, going in the water, you know.
right.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So we had, when I say common sense, to think to take it. When we said we wanted to take a lot with us, because it was easier to source in this country than in the States, really, the stuff we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And we took a container full of that out there with us, but we still needed more. We had a young buyer girl going up into Los Angeles for us, some shopping. What do you call them? Shoppers out there, don't you?
Sure, yes.
Going shopping stuff, yeah.
Wow. And were you able to do any kind of waterproofing of any of the luggage?
We tried, but it just didn't last in the salt water there. I'll tell you a problem I did have there. It was when we come to shoot the boat.
Mm-hmm.
When they built it, it was built facing in the wrong direction.
Uh-oh.
To suit the style of way Cameron wanted to shoot it. So when we're doing the stuff of the Titanic leaving the dock,
right,
they had to flip it.
Oh.
So everything had to be flipped. Now comes the thing. All the little badges, the tickets, the luggage labels, all right. Now you're in Rosarito in the middle of nowhere and you've got to start getting all this stuff made. Well, I had a few sleepless nights there, I'll tell you. But
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, we managed to do it. No, we had a smashing young girl who we had down from LA there. I can't remember her name now. Who did a good job for us, going up, helping us out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because she run me around the prop houses there, because I obviously didn't know Los Angeles, and I went to who helped me a lot was a guy in the company there, the hand prop room.
Right. Oh, yep.
Yeah, he helped me a lot. When I went there, I had quite a lot of stuff made, and they got some stuff made for me there, yeah.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. They're also a sponsor of the PMG. So.
Now what?
Yep, they're our sponsor. They're sponsor of our organization.
Of the Property Masters Guild. Yes.
Yeah. So, but a big number for me on that picture was when they start sinking the boat, the ship.
Mm-hmm.
As it's going down, it was going to be done in continuity, you know.
Right.
But when we're doing the dining room scene, because it was over a few nights, because we're starting with it first of all as it is, and slowly we're going down, and the water's coming in. Then they cut that night, so now we've got to take it up and redress again. So everything had to be dried out. Now I had to get the team. We had to lift. We couldn't take the carpets out because they were fitted. We had to lift the carpets in the dining room and have all these blooming blow eaters around it,
right,
underneath blowing, trying to dry it. So every day the set had to be stripped completely so we could dry it out. And with Cameron, because the way they started shooting, it was a thing out there in America. It hadn't happened over here then, where the artists losing a couple of hours a day and the working day alters.
Right.
So what started off in daylight, you finish up at the end of the week, you're doing nights, aren't you?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And, well, you didn't know if it was day or night there you was doing, because the minute you was finishing dressing the set and they were coming in shooting, you was trying to go back and chasing your other stuff up. Oh no, that was hard, that bit.
No doubt.
But it was all good. It was all good. It was a great experience, and at the end of the day, I think that was a film to be proud of.
Right, and that's why we keep doing it, right? Because
yeah,
because of that feeling that we get. Because I always ask this, Barry, what's wrong with us? Why do we do this to ourselves? There's got to be something intrinsically wrong with property masters that we want to continually do this to ourselves, to work like we do.
Yeah. So you two guys, you've got those massive trailers, have you, full of your equipment and stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We both have one.
Yeah. But to be honest and to be fair, I'd say most 80% of it just sits there, right? It's just like in case you need it.
I mean, right now, especially.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, but.
But no, he's right. It's like me and my wife call it it's our bag of tricks. It's essentially it's your Mary Poppins bag. You know what I mean? It's just your bag of tricks, and it's there for you. And it saves you out of a lot of situation, but then it also it gives the director also an arsenal. Like they're always like, oh, do you have this? Do you have this? You have this? We always have it, but they know they can ask for a lot.
Sure, exactly. And then it's this constant.
You've got a mobile prop room, basically, haven't you?
Yes, exactly. Pretty much, that's it.
Great thing. Yeah.
And then every time you think about throwing something out, and then you do, that's when it comes up on the next show.
That's when you need it.
Yeah.
It's just infuriating. I mean, I can't. But I finally got to a point where I said, listen, I'm not going to have outside storage. If it doesn't fit on the trailer, I don't own it. And so.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah. So did you have a stock of props yourself that you owned?
No.
You're smart.
Not at all.
Smart man.
No.
And so
just a little toolbox. That's all.
Right. That's amazing. So Barry, what in all of your years, what have you seen change the most in the industry? From like when you were doing it to when your children are doing it.
Funny enough, I was talking to my wife Pauline this afternoon because my office, I've got some pictures on the wall, and there's a photo of us on a winner film in Vienna, and the unit there, how small the units were then to what they are now.
Right.
I haven't been on a film set for 11 years now, but when the last one I was on, The Dark Knight, there was hundreds of people,
right. Yep.
And I just don't know what they all do now. When you sit in the theatre and you see the list of credits go up, it's nearly as long as the film if you sit there and watch the end of it.
Yeah, it's true.
And they try to make you watch the end because they're always like, well, we're going to put in a little clip after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Gives you...
Well,
but I think that's the thing that stands out most to me, I think, is how things have changed, how big everything's got with it all. When, as I say, we did some, even in Pinewood, when I did a couple of big films there, in the studio there early on, we still didn't have those massive crew. Everyone on the unit, you all knew each other and you all used to help each other,
Yeah.
But I don't think that happens so much now.
No, I think you're right about that. Do your children tell you about how things are different? I mean,
they tell me things. I've got Jamie at the moment. He's doing Wicked over here, which is closed down, obviously.
Yep. Ben,
he's doing a Star Wars series, and he tells me what's going on there. And then I've got Simon, because he's my lad who always worked for me, my eldest son. Mm-hmm. He had a heart transplant 10 years ago, so he couldn't go on to be a prop master because of the strain and stress of it. So he was worried about that and upset about that. But he's managed to go along with the boys working as a supervisor, Right. But then I've got 4 grandsons in it as well.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So we pretty much run the industry over here.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got it all locked up over there. That's nice. Well, and they all love it, I'm assuming, right? It's just like part of their blood now.
Oh, yeah, that's it, yeah. And they all say, thanks, Xander, that you started it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
They all have their jobs, you know.
I have 3 sons, and all 3 of them are like, I'm never going to be a property master. I've seen what it's done to you.
Yeah.
I tried, but they're doing other things. God bless them.
Well,
But
you're not looking bad on it, you two.
what's that?
I said you're not looking bad on it.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. I internalize it all. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And it's good that if your kids did get into it, they're not cursing you. Instead,
Yes,
they're
exactly.
actually bringing you praise for doing it, because that's one that can happen too.
Yeah. Well, my youngest, even though he resisted, he loves it. Even whenever he helps me out on something, he definitely has the DNA for it. So I don't know. I mean, he wants to be a writer, so I hope he'll pursue that. But he always says, that's my fallback position.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad fallback, though, for him. That's fun. Wow. So geez. I'm just blown away by the fact that you have so many of your family all involved in it. That's just amazing to me. And now so you said you haven't stepped on a set since you retired, so you've never gone to visit any of the shoots that your kids in?
No. They've asked me to go, but I don't know. I just thought when I'd finished on Dark Knight Rises, I thought, no, that's it. I've done my turn now, and that was it, really. Yeah. It was sad, but I knew then that I'd finished,
Sure.
because of my age and things. Then, yeah,
absolutely. So, do you miss it?
I did at first.
Right.
I did very much, but since that, I still think about it a lot.
Sure.
And think about, because one thing I found that business, and we're all lucky, very lucky, we've all got blooming good memories from it, which a lot of guys in their jobs never get.
Right. That's absolutely true.
Some lovely memories, and I've met some lovely people, and it's quite nice sometimes to sit back and just sit and think about old times.
Right. It's funny because I'm 63, and I'm looking at retiring fairly soon, and these past 7 months I've had an opportunity to feel what it's like to be retired, and it's a double-edged sword. I mean, part of me is like nice that I don't have to worry about everything, but there is this feeling of like not being part of something that's kind of I can feel that I'm going to miss that.
It's hard at first. I found it hard at first, but as I say, I knew then, because I was 71 when I stopped work, and I knew I'd done enough then.
Sure.
I could feel it,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because I feel the same way. I'm starting to feel that, where it's like the last show that I was doing was a difficult show, and I was reading a script and breaking it down, and I had this, sometimes you have that feeling of being overwhelmed by how big it is, right, when you're reading it.
Yeah.
But it was it was the first time that I felt, not that I felt like I couldn't do it, but that I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I need to start thinking about, maybe I need to think about retiring.
You have to dig deeper for that energy, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, you can't do this job half-assed, right? You have to, what's the point of doing it if you do? So that's interesting. But did you have a lot of hobbies beforehand? Probably not, right? Before you retired?
Like you, I didn't have too much time for hobbies, really.
So
the hours you worked and that, but since I've retired,
right,
I've taken up learning the guitar. My son taught me to play the guitar.
Wow, that's fantastic.
That's pretty good, because I can go out busking now outside the bus stop singing.
Well, that's good to know, because I always wanted to learn how to play the guitar, and I never did.
Always looking out for.
Well, that's fantastic. So do you travel now, or?
Yes, I still go away on holidays and have some holidays with my wife and that. And I used to do a lot of biking.
Oh, very nice.
Motorcycling. Yeah, I had a Harley and things, and we did some stuff. Went all over Europe, and that my wife and that. We've done Europe, Scotland, and I was lucky enough with my grandson when he was coming up to 21. We did the Pacific Highway.
Oh,
we went
wow.
Up from,
nice.
I rented a bike there and took him with me, and we did the old business. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Did you go up the whole coast?
We did the old coast. Yeah.
Oh, that's an awesome ride, huh?
It was lovely. It was really fantastic.
What kind of bike do you have?
I did have. I originally I had 2 gold wings first of all, and then I finished up for the last. I think it was 12 years. I had a Harley.
Nice.
Euroglide. The full works.
Right.
But it's got to be a bit heavy at the end.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, that actually. Do you guys handle picture cars and props out there? Do you guys have to do that too?
Do you? Yeah. In the film business, you don't handle picture cars at all.
No, we have someone who does the cars. We never got involved with vehicles now.
Yeah, like.
But do you guys do that in the States?
It depends where in the States you are.
On the East Coast, New York, they handle picture cars, but in Los Angeles, we do not. Yeah,
yeah. There was we just had we had Diana Burton on, I think last one or whatever. And not only do they handle picture cars, they do boats and stuff too. And she's had to get like the Boston Whalers and stuff like that for certain shows. So that's
it's a whole nother Megillah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow, amazing. So, geez.
Harry Potter,
right?
What to say about that?
Yeah. So I know Mikey's got a lot of Harry Potter.
Well,
questions.
I mean, you worked on it for like 12 years. Pretty much solely your whole life was Harry Potter, then, huh?
Just over, 10, about 11 years we was on it. Just over 10 years, really. Eight movies we did, yeah.
And was it back to back? I mean, pretty much.
Virtually, yeah. We had a slight breaking, and not nothing to speak about really, yeah. Because the time we run down on one, I was breaking down the next one, and slowly, sometimes only doing a few days a week on it,
Sure.
Creeping into it, as you say, yeah.
Was your family on it with you too?
Yeah. Made sure of that.
Yeah, of course. So you probably had how many of your children worked on all those Harry Potter movies?
On Potter. Paul, give us that, please. All of them.
All of them. Nice.
I've got something to show you here. Yeah, this is my pride. Can you see it?
Wow. Oh, yeah. Wait, that's beautiful.
Yeah, the BAFTA.
Oh my God.
The BAFTA. Nice. Well deserved, sir. Well deserved.
So I got a nice award there. Yeah.
Well, so what was the category that you won in?
For outstanding contribution to the film industry.
Wow, that's very nice. We need to have that here in the States. We're working on it.
What was so good about it, that category only came into play the year before I received mine. Yeah.
I see. Wow, very nice.
Where they recognise the crew, as opposed to being an artist or writer or whatever.
Right.
So was it just like the art department that got it, or the whole crew got one?
Not just me.
Just you. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Seriously, well deserved though, like I said. So that's fantastic. That's a nice thing to end your career with, for sure. Well, and then The Dark Knight, after all that, so that you rolled right out of Harry Potter into The Dark Knight, is that it?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I went from Potter onto The Dark Knight. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. So go ahead.
Yeah,
Mikey.
with Harry Potter though and everything, was it like, I mean, you guys knew you were working on one of the biggest things ever at the time, I assume. Yeah. So it's like, where are we going to go from here? Just kind of like, were you planning on ending your career when Harry Potter ended, and then like, oh well, a Batman movie came up, so might as well go out on this?
I was wondering what to do, and then my son Jamie, he had worked for. I'm trying to think of the designer now. See, that's another thing. The old brain's going a bit.
Yes.
Who did the Batman?
Chris Nolan.
Oh, the designer.
Oh, the designer.
The designer.
All right, wait, we're looking it up.
My son had worked for him, and because Jamie couldn't do the film, he was on something else. So really, he put me forward with. Oh Christ! I'm sorry, I can't.
It's okay. We're almost there.
I can't think.
Was it Nathan Crowley?
Yeah, Nathan Crowley
and Kevin Cavanaugh.
Yeah, so Jamie put me forward for him, really, and that's how I got the job. Was through Nathan. Yeah, it was Nathan, wasn't it? Oh, my brain. That's the other thing now. When you get 80, your brain goes. You know.
Well, you're pretty sharp there, Mister.
Which I was.
Can remember some stories. Too.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was. It's Crowley. Yeah, but that's how I got the job on Batman. It was through the production designer. Yeah.
Wow.
My wife is what made me ask this question. Did you ever get to wear the sorting hat in Harry Potter?
No.
No.
Other than that.
Amazing. So I'm supposing that was probably very thrilling for all of your children to be able to work on Harry Potter. I mean, you know.
Yeah, they had a good time on it. Yeah, no, yeah, it was nice to have the kids on there in various stages. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very inspiring show to work on. I could see why they all wanted to continue.
There was so much good prop making, and I tell you, that was a film you worked on. The sets were such a high quality, and everything. I was really proud of when your boys had finished them. You know, when you stood there, and the amount of work and the detail that had gone into them, and it stayed on that level all the way through the series.
Amazing.
It didn't drop off at all. You know, sometimes when you do a franchise like that, 2 or 3, and then they begin to want to hold back on the money and that. They didn't on the Potters. They really went to town on all of them. And I think it really, well, obviously it really paid off for them all. Yeah.
With those movies, what was your average prop staff? Like, how many people did you have full-time hired?
My biggest gang, my average gang for my department, which I called my prop shop boys and my standbys, was about 20, I suppose, 25.
Yeah.
But I've been up to about 40 odd with some daily men at sometimes and things, yeah. And we had more when we went up to Scotland, and we had some local labour working with us and things like that, yeah.
Yeah, because you had a lot of like $500-600 background days and stuff like you had a lot of extras and background in there.
Yeah.
And
well, I'd bring on about the most I ever had on the floor was when we did the Great Hall, I had about 20 of us was working that when we did the Great Hall,
right,
with the turnarounds and that. Yeah, about 20 was on the servicing the set and keeping it all running in from the background and everything. Yeah.
Not counting the catering teams, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, not counting
That's another army.
Yeah.
So did you have a lot or did you film most of these on the same studio in the same stages, or did you hold stages over between films?
Well, in the Potter, well, we were the only ones in there at the time at Leavesden when we went in there, because it was only a shell, basically. With Leavesden Studios, it used to belong to Rolls-Royce. It was just a vast space where Rolls-Royce used to produce stuff during the war.
I see.
And then it was cleared out, and it stood empty for years. And when we went in there, I think the first film we went in there with was a Goldeneye. That was the first time it was used as a studio, and at that time they just started. Peter Lamont had some areas divided up into stages. Nothing was soundproofed in there or anything of that. That all came slowly over the Potter film. Slowly it transferred from this shell into this fantastic studio, you know?
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, but when we first started there, the rain was pouring in the roofs, and boxes were coming in and peeing on the sets and all sorts of things.
Wow.
So it wasn't locked down very well.
Yeah.
After the first movie, they had the money to patch up some holes in the ceiling.
Right.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe it. Yeah, when we first went there. Yeah. But,
amazing.
as I say, it all worked, and it was, thank God, they built the studio there.
I'll say.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I also see that you got to do a 007 film, right?
Yeah, two. I did, yeah.
The World Is Not Enough, right?
Yeah.
Was that thrilling for you? I mean,
yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. GoldenEye, I loved doing that with Pierce
Brosnan.
Pierce Bronson. He was such a delight to work for. A lovely man, yeah. And the whole film, and Peter Lamont was such a good designer as well. The whole film was just great to work on, yeah. But did you see the film at all? GoldenEye?
Oh, I did. I have not.
Well, we did this tank chase, what was supposed to have been, what was going to be in Russia. And for all intents and purposes, it was all worked out that they were going to do this tank chase around in Moscow. And when it came to do it, they had done tests on the sewers, and they wouldn't have stood the vibration of the tank.
I see.
The so-called crap it the fan. We've got a build over here. And because at Leavesden, we had such a vast back lot. We had a complete runway there because they used to fly planes in and out there.
Right.
And the runway it was a slight hill up in the horizon, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, Peter Lamont quickly, while we was in Russia there, they started buying up all old drain pipes and stuff, just filling containers with stuff and anything we could get our hands on to send back to Leavesden. And in 8 weeks, this is the gospel truth, from nothing. And it was so proud of our boys, it's the construction that built it. They built this length of street, and we had it dressed in 8 weeks. You couldn't believe what a feat it was. They did, yeah.
That's amazing.
And when they came back, it was all ready for them to shoot on, and that all came out as a bolt out the blue for us. But it was really good to work on, and it was really energised, you know, because everyone was going to it tooth and nail to do it, and for Peter, because as I say, he was such a gentleman to work for. You knocked your pipe out for him, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Watching GoldenEye, I can't make you out.
So, was there any project that you wish you would have gotten to do that you didn't do?
I've only ever worked on one Western. I would have liked to work on more Westerns. Right.
Yeah, no, they're kind of fun. I've only done partially one, and it was a lot of fun. Oh,
do a lot of Westerns shoot in the UK? Probably not.
But the one I did was shot down in Spain. Yeah.
That makes sense.
What one was that? Pirates? No.
That was in December. That was with Charles Bronson. That was on Chateau's Land.
Oh wow.
Chateau's Land. Yeah.
Yeah, Westerns are becoming less of a thing. I mean, I know all of them out here are shot in Utah, pretty much, or New Mexico.
Right. Well, yeah, with Taylor Sheridan, you know, television-wise, they're coming back a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I love a good Western.
Any of you guys been involved with Yellowstone or any of those things?
I haven't been with Yellowstone, no. I did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so I got to do the Western part of that. That was a lot of fun for me.
Oh, yeah. Right. Lovely, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's good, that Taylor Sheridan, and is he good for the business out there?
Absolutely. Yeah, he really is, and I love those shows because I just love to watch the settings that they're in. It's and the whole cowboy culture. He does a really good job depicting that. So I think he's definitely prolific. He's got a lot of different shows out there. So
yeah,
I've just watched one 1883.
Yeah,
and I thought the detail in that was incredible. What you guys did out there.
Yeah, yep. and then what was it? Jeff Johnson is working on all of the Kevin Costner movies,
right?
Which are all kind of Western movies. Yep. I think it's a string of 4 of them that they're doing in the same area. They're keeping it going.
Yeah, Utah, Montana, Wyoming, right?
Yeah, Wyoming area.
Yeah.
And then Taylor shoots some stuff in Texas too, I believe.
Probably
something
all in that area.
Yeah,
I love the Westerns. I worked on Westworld for 2 seasons, and that was super fun. Yeah. super fun just to do. I was like, I got offered to do something else that was like a lot easier, and I was like, I like doing the 500 cowboys dressing up every day and morning. I was like, I like coming in 3 hours just to like, because it feels like you're doing something, and it feels like you're actually artistically like putting something in. It's like I'd rather dress the hookers and the cowboys, put my art on that.
Yeah, exactly. And just like being in that environment, you feel like you're back in time. It's really a lot of fun.
It's super cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if, forgive me if I'm repeating this story, but when I was on Once Upon a Time, and the first time I had to put spurs on Leo DiCaprio, I didn't know what I was doing, okay? And I had the spur, and he's very patient, and I was down on my hands and knees trying to put the spur on him, and finally one of the horse wranglers leaned into me and he said, "It's upside down." like, okay, thank you for that. But it's fun, and then you have to do like rubber spurs. And,
otherwise sound will like chop your head off.
Yeah, exactly. So, they're fun. Westerns are fun, for sure. So of your whole career, what was the most thrilling experience you had on a film?
Most thrilling experience, Christ.
There's a lot of good ones in there.
I know, right? Yeah, you can't.
It's hard to say. A thrilling experience. I can't put a finger on it, really. A thrilling experience.
Or just one that you're most proud of.
Well, I think the film we're most proud of when we finished it was Titanic.
Yeah,
that was the that was work. That was hard work, and we did it, and we were proud that we did that. I think that was the one, really, Titanic. Yeah.
Did you feel when you were finished with that film that it was going to be as big as it was?
As good as it was?
No, as big as it was. Did you
that it was going to win like 11 Academy Awards?
Right.
No, we knew it was going to be a good movie. It's just, it was, It
was a groundbreaking movie.
It was, and we was really pleased to have done that one. Yeah.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Well, I have to ask for my son. What was it like working with David Bowie?
David Bowie. Well, he was a very, very nice guy, and at the time we had a nice little bar in EMI Studios where, in the evening when we finished work, you'd go and have a pint, before you went up, and. Well, most nights he'd pop in there and he'd buy the boys a drink before he went home. Yeah, he was a smashing guy. Yeah,
nice. Yeah. Good to hear.
Very professional, very good. Yeah,
nice. I watched some behind the scenes of making Labyrinth, and they showed where the juggler with the spheres was like had to slide his arm up underneath Bowie and pretend it was his arm, and basically having to juggle without being able to see what he was doing. It was pretty fascinating. Yeah.
But he was all up for a joke on the set, David. Yeah. When they were dancing in the, they did the dance number in the bubble, like the ballroom dancing scene. Mm-hmm. We had a program over here called Come Dancing, and it used to be on the TV on a Saturday night, and all the dancers would have a number on their back, like number 10 or couple 11. Well, we had a number 12 done, and as David's gone by, Joe Dipple, who was my guy, he's just stuck it on his back, and as he's gone round, Jim Henson burst out laughing because and he just took it all so well,
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Dancing round, and he's got this number 12 on his back.
That's funny. I love that. Well, do you have anything else, Mikey? I don't want to keep you too long, Barry.
Oh yeah, but no, this has been great. Thank you so much for sitting with us and doing this. I'm super pumped to be able to talk to you. I always had so much questions about the how UK functions and does all this stuff, just as they take so much of a lot of the work. They have some of the biggest stuff shooting in the world right now. So
but it's always been a thing when we spoke about the American system and the English system,
Yeah, absolutely. It's been something that I've pondered for a long time, and now finally get more details about what it is. It's a lot more than I thought it was. I thought you guys were doing it. To me, it felt like you were turning more over to the set decorator, but it doesn't. But now I understand it a lot clearer. It's more of a collaboration, and you're doing more than I thought you would do. You were definitely.
And as I say, we don't spend the time on the sets like you guys. But then I think, judging by when I was speaking to Michael Bates and that, he had a hell of a nice build-up time on The Dark Knight. Mm-hmm. Quite a few weeks where he could just go and deal and speak to Nolan and get all this stuff sorted out. And I must say, when he came to the UK, he was so prepared. Yeah. He just had everything with him, what he needed. Mm-hmm. And that was brilliant. It made my job easy. I didn't have to worry about any of that.
Yep. Yeah. That's nice.
No, yeah. And I'm glad we were able to talk to you also, just because we just opened up our organization, the Property Masters Guild, to Europe and the UK and everything like that. So as we get more members in, I think it's great to all get us talking and understanding each other and how our job works.
For sure. Wonderful idea. Yeah, great. Yeah. They'd be only too pleased.
Yeah,
very nice.
Yeah, and it'd be awesome to have you guys. So, I'll reach out to you on the side and everything like that, and then we'll get things going, and then hopefully we can. I mean, if you're listening to this and you're out in the UK, go to our website, propertymastersguild.org, and feel free to apply now. All over Europe, everybody in Europe now. We just accepted our.
So the guys could apply to you, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'll tell them tomorrow.
Yeah. They can just go on to propertymastersguild.org, and then there's an application page, and then fill that out. We just accepted our first European member just this past Saturday, and she's from Serbia. Yeah, Maja, I think is her name. Yeah. So we're super excited to start bring them in and expand.
Good. Brilliant.
Excellent.
Let the world know about the Property Masters.
That's right.
That's right. And what they do.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what we're all about, Barry, for sure.
So going into that and lifting us up in what we do, we are also we're going to be able to show the world a little bit something like that in December here in LA. So if you are in LA or you're around the area, we're going to be at LA Comic-Con. We're going to have a 20x20 booth, and we're going to be showing off props from a lot of this year's biggest films from Netflix, Universal Films, and stuff like that. So we're going to be showing off the bomb core from Oppenheimer. We're also going to have a panel panel with the prop master from Oppenheimer, and we're going to have a Star Wars TV show panel going on with with the prop masters from Obi-Wan, from Ahsoka, from Mandalorian. So like a lot of like some of the biggest Star Wars shows. So they're going to be doing that, and then they're going to be doing a meet and greet down at the booth at some point too. So that's December 1st to the 3rd. If you guys want to come hang out with us, if you want to see some actual real screen use props, we'll show them off to you. We'll tell you some stories from the actual mouths of the prop master that happened with those props and that go into the design. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited to show off props to fans. Like
Brilliant. Brilliant.
It's going to be fantastic. Great. So check that out. Once again, Barry, I just want to say thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much for coming out. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure meeting you guys.
Yes, and please, if you do make it to the States, look us up and let us know when you're coming. We'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come down and see your trailer.
Yes, exactly. Definitely. We'll give you the tour.
Thank you to everybody else out there for tuning in to another episode of Prop Talk, the official podcast of the Property Masters Guild, brought to you by real working and retired prop masters. If this is your first time listening, please make sure to like, subscribe wherever you're hearing this. If you'd like more information on the Property Master Guild or have any questions for us here at Prop Talk, be sure to go to propertymastersguild.org. We're also on Instagram at _the PMG and all other socials. And actually, I think I did a pretty good job at cutting this, so I'm pretty sure we're going to be on YouTube now. So you can watch us now on YouTube, and hopefully we'll be able to keep that going with the episodes of Prop Talk, where you'll be able to watch our whole show on YouTube, and so you can actually see, was it the BAFTA award?
Yes, that's what I was thinking. We're going to get to see it. That's going to be brilliant.
You'll be able to see it firsthand.
Exactly. Right. Okay, lovely.
So, go check us out there, and then that's our show. Until next time.
Peace to you, Barry.
Bye.
Thanks very much. Thank you.